Hey, everybody. Welcome to Skottie Talk with Tyler and Dustin. Tonight's
Howdy, howdy.
episode. Hey, Tyler. Yeah, sorry if I stopped talking for a second.
No, I always feel like saying hi too. It always feel like I'm just kind of like waving off in the distance. So
Oh, no, you're fine. Anytime, just give me the signal and I'll stop. Uh, Tonight's episode is a little different than what was originally promoted pre Milton coming in and kind of delaying us a little bit last week. But we were going to talk about daily sketches, but we pivoted a little bit to quote friends. And we are going to talk about the CNC Signature Series, which while Florida had a Milton hurricane going on, the crew from Sarasota headed to Kansas City to visit with Skottie and the team at Stupid Fresh and do a surprise signing last week that, yielded quite a few remark previews that we'll go through and kind of discuss.
they did. They got smart. Yeah, they got smart getting out and heading to Kansas instead of Sky. I'm sure that was all planned too. Once they started, tracking all that stuff. So.
No doubt. And it's, usually you'd want to head to Florida at this time of the year, but I think they were in the right frame of mind going to Kansas City to get away from that.
Exactly.
So, hey, Seth.
Hello, Seth.
So how are you faring? We were supposed to be on last Wednesday, and as a precautionary measure, we delayed it a week just to make sure, since you were in Orlando in the past, how's everything going down in your area?
It was good. It was thankfully, again, being in Orlando, we're pretty set to not get much of the worst of it. We're not being on the coast. We're so far inland. That being said, still worrisome since it was heading straight over us, to a certain point. It kind of veered a little bit south. But thankfully, we didn't lose power once. It did flicker a few times. That was like our main concern was power and then flooding. And then thankfully, we've got a giant pond behind our apartment complex. So, it has a lot of give, So when we woke up the next morning, the water had definitely risen. It was past, some of the trees that were kind of surrounding the pond itself. So thankfully, that stopped it. And then, like I said, the power we didn't end up losing. So we didn't experience much, but, definitely a lot of rain, definitely heavy winds. But thankfully us, and then, same with family. We've got family on the West Coast. They were in Sarasota. My in-laws are there on my brother's side. So thankfully, they were good as well. They had lost power, but they were prepared for that. And they had, not generators, but they had backup batteries and stuff like that.
Oh,
so yeah, no, definitely, it hit the coast hard. Unfortunately, Tampa and Sarasota area, but thankfully there wasn't too much here. There were, it's still affected certain areas around Orlando. Like my wife couldn't go to work because power was out at certain areas and buildings and stuff. And coworkers she knew that lived closer to Orlando itself had been affected and had power off there. So,
well, I'm glad to hear. For all things considered, it sounds like y'all made it out pretty well. It could have been a whole lot worse. So yeah, thankful that you're able to join us tonight, because I was thinking, even as we delayed it last week, I was like, if you see some of the images from some of the aftermath of the hurricanes, especially between Helene and Milton, and you're thinking, man, you could be out of commission for a couple of weeks, but thank the Lord you're okay.
No, yeah, we're glad, especially because it was even tornadoes that popped up around us that got decently close-ish to Orlando, and some of those did major damage. So you just never know. But yeah, thankfully we had the weather channel. We had people playing 24/7, just letting us know the most up-to-date info, and that's all you can do, and then just prepare if something does come your way. But yeah, thankfully nothing hit us specifically. So definitely glad for that. I don't want that Florida experience of having to live through that if I don't have to. That's not something I'm gonna brag about if I do. It's I know people who grew up in Florida are more used to it, but me myself, I grew up in North Carolina, so I'm still new to all this, even though I've been here for maybe 7-8 years now or something like that in Florida. So,
well, good. Well, glad to hear you're okay, and we'll transition over to our subject of the night, our CNC Signature Series, and we'll pop. I'm really excited to talk about some of these remarks that we got.
I know.
As we said earlier. Oh, go on there. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say they look so good. I'm excited to talk about them too. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at this being his 5th trip down to or his 5th trip with CGC, not actually visiting Ron Funk this time. It just seems like they get better every time. And the people that sent them in, everyone I've talked to, from the people that knew that there were specific characters where there were people that were like, yes, I know this one's mine. We're very thrilled with the results that came out. And the people that didn't send them in, the few that I saw were really kicking themselves for.
I know, I saw, most of those comments, like, man, I've tried, I wish I would have sent in something, or did I miss this? Can I still send in? It's like, yeah, unfortunately, exactly. The deadline's gone. So,
well, thankfully, like clockwork, he'll probably have a 6th appearance coming up in 2025.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Start saving your money now. And it's funny that Seth was the first one to pop in because, spoiler alert, I think Seth may have my favorite one of the signing. And did you know which one Seth sent in? Has he told you? Or
I think he had. Honestly, I had forgotten. I remember he brought it up before a few times leading up to it. So I know he was super excited really cool. for it.
Oh yeah. The 3 he had told me a few they had sent in, but one of them he said, "Oh, I'm pretty sure that's mine." I was like, "That's my favorite. That's the best one." And I'll wait till we get to that slide before I say it, but we'll just jump right in. I tried to group these kind of by characters and by properties, but the very first ones, it's hard to pass up a good Venom sketch.
Yep.
And is it my imagination, or do you see like Eddie Brock in the vision or the Venom on the right there?
Yeah, it's funny because when I put through these, I missed that the first time. I totally missed that. Like, I think I was more so because, again, my favorite is when he works around the existing art. It's like him working around the carnage. Like, I just love how it, like, follows the lines and stuff. But that's hilarious. There's just a tiny little Eddie Brock just peeking out of there. So.
But it's almost so subtle that you'll miss it. And then whenever I was getting these slides ready for the show and doing the different remarks, and I zoomed in a little bit, I thought that's a pair of eyes there, and that's hair. It's staring at me. But yeah, that's really, really well done, especially for it to be a remark and something that's supposed to be a really quick sketch. For you to be able to see it and look at it and be like, oh yeah, that's obviously what it is. I thought that one was really cool.
No, that's a super fun. I love that, like, character within a character too. So just get a little bit of the tease.
And the one on the left, obviously the What If, the Venom, Deadpool cover, which is a high dollar cover and one that you'd want to get graded anyway. But to have a remark, and we see these pop up about every signature series or signing off that Skottie does with CGC, but they're always cool. I'd love to have that book with the Venom on it. That's really a really good sketch too.
Yeah, so that's still one of the few rare, like the more expensive options of books that I still need to add to my collection. So yeah, to have the Venom on it would be super cool. Again, especially just because, like I said, I just love when he follows the existing artwork and kind of goes off of that. So
yes, yeah. 100%.
Yeah, like Z brought up and you posted. Yeah, it looks all right, I suppose. Definitely not jealous. I mean, I agree. I sent in one, and I'm like, man, why didn't I send in more?
Yeah, I saw that, and the literal side of me saw that, and it's like, oh man, we got a hater. Yes, this is what I've been waiting for. You've never made it as a show until you have someone that hates, and then I saw kind of the sarcastic cry, and I thought, oh, okay, it's a fan.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, the next one, and this one is we had a member, and I forgot, I was going to write the dude's name down, but he was very thrilled with the space Spider-Man, the astronaut Spider-Man. And that one's unique enough where I'm sure that may have been the only astronaut suited Spider-Man, maybe the only one Skottie's ever drew before.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if you saw Megan's comment. This was one of her favorites from the remarks. So.
Oh, no doubt. It was really nice. It was a really good one.
It's a fun one, yeah. Just, again, I love that silly playfulness to it, so.
Yeah, and I love it that they're unique enough where certain members from our group, the Skottie Young Appreciation Group on Facebook, can spot the remarks that were posted and be like, hey, that's the one I asked for. As we see, I asked for a Batman as well. And as we get to the Batman, there was like 4 Batman that were on there. So that, one of those may be a little bit harder to identify which one's yours and which one's someone else's. But yeah, Spidey in an astronaut suit, I'd say it's probably the member that saw it was thrilled, and rightfully so. Yeah. Now, on the right, we've got Spider-Punk, which is more akin to the Spider-Man or Spider-Punk that Skottie drew for his daily sketch.
Yeah.
And it's the first one that really is different than the baby variants that we've seen before. this one may be mine, and I'll be thrilled if it is.
Oh, wow.
It's really cool.
I will be extremely jealous. Yeah, this one is, I love this one, especially because one of the things I love is that he used a brush on this one compared to like the pen or marker he used for the other ones. And I love that he signed his name with it too. So you get this really thick signature like that Y with like the texture on the brush. This is just really cool, and it fits Spider-Punk really well. So
yeah, it goes perfectly well. They both play off each other, the signature and the sketch. And I couldn't see the title of the book. This was how it was cropped in the image that we saw. So I really couldn't tell. But thankfully, with this being done and headed back to Sarasota, we will probably have these books in hand by the end of November, I'm assuming, if their current turnaround rate holds up. So, all right, next one. This is another one that may or may not be mine. The Black Cat. I know that we had another member of the group that had requested Black Cat, and there was 2 Black Cats posted on like the little teaser image that was presented, but I think it was the same image that was posted twice. They looked identical. Gotcha. So this one may not be mine. This one may be, I think Harry is the other gentleman that had asked for it. But either one, I mean, it's very identifiable. The mask, the hair, to be something that has to be done really quickly. The Mary Jane and the Black Cat here are really well done.
Yeah, no, they're super cute. I love the eyeshadow on the MJ. That's fun.
Yeah,
like the really darker, thicker lines. So
yeah, and if you remember, whenever Skottie posted this book, the Spider-Man book for sale, it's a Skottie Shop exclusive. All the sketches that were done, all the remarks that were done and sold by SkottieYoung.com were of Spider-Man. So
yeah, we're Spidey. Yeah, I was gonna say they were all. So yeah, it's fun to see different character on there.
Oh yeah, most definitely. All right, and then what signing would be complete without Deadpool?
Deadpool.
And we see that this book had a Venom on it in the first slide we looked at, and now we get the opposite side of it where we get Deadpool on it, and the squinty eye Deadpool on both of these is really cool. And the Deadpool on the Spider-Man one, which is kind of something that's unique. I wouldn't have expected that one on that Romita homage cover.
Yeah, I love that Romita homage cover. It's just such a great cover, like done in his style. And again, I love the playfulness of like Deadpool popping out behind Spidey. Like, again, I don't mind like the floating. With remarks, you're gonna get that floating character. It makes sense because like you can't always just kind of fit him in on an existing piece of art, but when he does that, like when he gets that, like, oh, I'll just have him pop out. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I love that, just like that extra little, kind of flourish to it. So.
Oh yeah, and using the whiteout on or the white marker on that one too for the eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's such a great idea.
All right, now we get to, and this one I thought I missed this one at first too, but the color on the Infinity Gauntlet.
That's funny, because that would be the black and white cover. So
yeah, I mean, it looks so natural there, and even the shading that Skottie used to color those stones in, I totally missed it at first, and then whenever I was looking, I was like, oh, that's the pure cover, the virgin black and white.
That's funny. Yeah, I did miss that as well. It's a nice little touch there. So
yeah, something that's another thing that just makes it unique that you may not. If you just were going to a signing with him at a show and just get his signature on there, you wouldn't get that. So not only did this person get the remark, they also got the little bonus, which is really cool. And,
I like that. Yeah.
Now the Deadpool cover, I love this Deadpool cover on the right there. Yep. And the Deadpool Wolverine is such a deadly combination now that Deadpool was one that was on my short list to send in this time. And I'll probably try to get one next time because I love Skottie's Deadpool or Wolverine. I'm sorry, and this one's no exception. It's really cool.
Yeah, no, they're great pals now. With the movie, obviously that's where people are kind of pulling in stuff. Not to say that it isn't in the comic books, but yeah, I mean it's very popular and with the movie right now, it's actually just coming out on digital, so that's a fun one to see for sure.
Oh yes. And now this one, I want to talk about this one for a second because I had requested a Gambit, and I'm not sure, if one of these is mine, if either of them are mine, but the fact that this was the same signing that took place, and we don't know the exact number of remarks that Skottie did. I think last time we went through this a little bit, talking about the CGC signing, we said that it was supposed to be limited to 100, but we don't know if it went over or went under that. But the fact that, he drew multiple gambits and had a different style for both of them, I thought was really cool.
No, that's definitely, because it's one of those things, especially I get it, with Spidey, like there's only so many ways you can draw him. He's drawn them every single way, multiple times per way. So it's, we expect kind of similar, the same, kind of thing. So when we see like, the astronaut Spidey, that's fun because it's different. But yeah, like you said, it's really cool that he got two. And like you said, he didn't just stick with the same one, especially because I would expect the right one to be the one that he would have just duplicated, or not duplicated, but, kind of drawn that baby style. The left one is interesting because it's that baby, but it has that kind of, I don't know. It's just, I like the way that he did the eyes with that one. It's a little bit more sinister. So
yeah, and they're both great. They're both really well done. And I think whichever one I get, I'll be thrilled with. But yeah, it just shows that, it almost, looking at these two was the first time I was thinking that, Skottie looks almost like he was having fun. If you told me I had to draw 100 characters or 150 or 50, whatever, you'd think, all right, this is, my hands will be cramping. It's my arm, my shoulder, like we've talked about. But it almost looks like Skottie was having a good time with these.
Yeah, because he's got the signing on top of it, so like he's got to sign these. Plus, he's signing the regular books, and I'm sure they've got their timers, so they're like, hey, you can't give too much time to each particular one. But no, I mean, like you said, it definitely had fun with it. And again, I love the fact that I can tell on the left one he used a pen brush versus like the right one where it's more of like that kind of marker pen kind of look to it. So again, I like that difference in like the texture that those two different tools give to both of these. So
right on. I'm glad you knew that. I didn't notice that. I didn't realize it, but once you said it, I was like, oh yeah, it does look like you used
it's like, again, it's sitting here staring, because like when I first passed through them, I didn't notice that stuff, but sitting here looking at the two of them next to each other, on the left, it's again, it's that kind of it's just the brush kind of like runs out of ink more so than like the marker. So you get that nice kind of variation in the line weights versus like the right where, it's dark. It's going to be mainly dark. And then, it kind of play off of that. So
yeah, those technical aspects, that's your bread and butter right there. We've got you. I saw these, the reason, and I'm glad that you're pointing these out because I would have never caught that. But, whenever they showed, like, I think it was like 9 to a screen, sometimes you can get lost. The forest for the trees. You gotta get, but that's the reason why I wanted us to kind of go through them one or two at a time, so you could really see those type of details that you may have overlooked if you're just kind of flipping through, 9 per picture. So
no, I mean, it's a great point. I mean, it's easy to look at those posts and go, wow, look at them. But it's like, if you're to each, because when everybody gets theirs, they've got 1 or 2 or however many, you put in, you're going to look at it and be like, wow, look at that, specifically. So it's cool to see everybody's like this. So like you said, we can kind of go through and check them all out individually. So
this one, the Nightcrawler was don't mean to skip over the Human Torch, but Nightcrawler was awesome.
I was gonna say I'm like the Nightcrawler is awesome. I'm like, man, that Human Torch, I love that he did his old school Human Torch style. Like again, it's funny, the same thing here. He's like, he's using that brush pen on the left one, and on the right one here, he's using like that more, straight line weight marker pen. But I mean, they're both great. And Nightcrawler is always fun because, again, I always love to add little effects, just a little poof, that he's, busting through. And I always love how happy Nightcrawler is. Like, Nightcrawler's always look like he's just having a blast in his artwork. So. Oh yeah,
I mean the expression that he's got on his face, but the expression where the Human Torch, just the hood, the four. I mean that almost goes from remark territory to quick sketch territory. Like he's taking that remark to new level on that one.
He captured it so much, and it looks so clean. I mean, I love like the little just black dots to kind of give a bit more to like the fire, and same with like the shape, like the shadows on his face and stuff, and even like the backwards 4 again, because it almost like it's like a reflection kind of a deal. So yeah, I mean it's just it's too cool. So yeah, I agree, Seth. It's super good. So
And I'm getting excited to see what comes on next, even though I'm the one that did the outlines for the remarks here. It's still like I forget which one's next, but I'm excited to talk about all of
I
them.
know, same, yeah.
One of our members in the group, William, I believe these were both his because he had a Stan Lee pre-signed book and he had a John Bernthal pre-signed book. So you can kind of see his signature directly below Punisher there on the left. So I'm pretty sure these were his, but yeah, both of these were really Stan Lee on a Skottie book is another one that's high on my list.
Yeah, and especially I would want that same style again, kind of closer to his non-baby style. Not closer.
Yeah.
I mean, it is like his non-baby style, pretty much. But I love it. Again, I love like just the subtle detail, like the highlights on the glasses, so you can't really see his eyes, like the reflection and and it's tough, with not, unfortunately, there are no more Stan Lee signatures. It's what's out there is what's out there. And again, I've got to go out. It's somewhere in my garage. I have a Stan Lee signed comic, and I have to find it because I'm so worried, especially being out in like a Florida garage. I think that's where it is.
Oh,
and I'm like, I hope it's not, because I've got it in a glass frame, and I'm just super worried that it's just stuck to the glass frame, and that's just where it's going to have to like live now. But
yeah.
Them doing the signature, authentication stuff now, I'd love to send it in. And honestly, I'd hold on and probably have, a Skottie do a remark on it. So,
that'd be ideal. That'd be great. What I was going to mention on the ones before, and I'd forgotten, it just now popped back in my head, is one of the things I love about these sketches too is the pencil lines that are clearly seen underneath, that you can kind of see the outline for them. I know some artists I've seen them sketching during live shows. They erase the pencil marks after they get done with the sketches, but especially for ones like these, to me, it just adds a new layer to it to be able to see the original layout and to see where he took that. To me, whenever I see an artist, do that, I was like, oh, that don't look like anything. And then they can take those scribbles and create like images like this. And you can like get from point A to point B. I could never find my way there, yet they somehow know exactly how to do it. Is really cool to see.
No, yeah, I 100% agree. And for that exact reason, I kind of go back and forth on, because I like the remarks on the blank comic sketch covers, but at the same time, it always feels too empty to me. Like, it feels nice here because we're zoomed in on the art itself. But once you get the comic, it's it's maybe taking up 2 inches, and then you have all this other space. But again, maybe that's a good reason. Maybe you get multiple remarks then, and I've obviously have seen that with people who do different artists, but I don't know if I've ever seen that with Skottie, where you just keep sending it in, and just maybe I would love to see like a remark filled comic book blank cover. So,
well, fasten your seatbelts, Tyler. We're going to get there eventually. There's one in here that has multiple Skottie sketches on there. So.
Is there? I must have missed that then when going through that. So
now, if we had planned this really well, it would have been the next slide. But now it's. But I digress. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah, it's like no, we have to wait. You have to wait for it.
Pull a River song and just say spoilers. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah, Skottie jam piece, exactly.
All right. Okay, this page has my favorite sketch of that we've seen. I think I counted 34 that they shared images of. This one has my favorite, and I'll let you guess which one it is, Tyler.
Oh man, I have mine out of this group, but I would say it's either Harley or Superman.
It's Superman. The Clark Kent revealing, pulling the shirt opened, or you see the S, the emblem.
I'm right there with you, man. Again, and it's just the subtle thing of like the little tiny beady eyes, the reflection on the glasses, and then like his smile. Again, I love Superman. I've not read like a ton of like his stuff and whatnot, but like I just really more so love the Clark Kent Superman, where it's, the hope and the happiness and like just the small, him being Clark, him being human rather than, him being, the Superman that he is. But so I'm really looking forward, the new movie coming out with James Gunn, and this is like Superman, like it's perfect when it's like this, like you said, where he's like, revealing the symbol. I can hear the music in my head playing. So
yeah, the eyes really close together. The Conan O'Brien, the hair.
It's got the
pompadour. There's so many great things. It's like, well, how can Superman be confused with Clark Kent? I mean, this guy is like so. Yeah, the facial expressions are perfect on all three of these. But yeah, it's just like so unassuming. But he's about to rip off and become Superman and be the unstoppable force. I just love that one, and I don't want to downplay because Wonder Woman is one of the characters I'd requested. I don't know if this one's mine or not, but it's great. It looks very similar to because I had requested Absolute Wonder Woman and Absolute Batman. Yep. And this one looks very similar to the cover that Skottie did, and just the eyebrow, the one eyebrow down, the look on her face,
kind of
and then the look in Harley's eyes is what,
Yeah, what Z said. Yeah, I memean he nailed Harley's crazy eyes. That's 100% it, and the big smile too. It's always that big smile and. Yeah, I loved it because this was the one they actually posted the video of him sketching, which was nice. Again, I take videos of all of them. Like have a camera set up. I would love to see the process for all of them, kind of a deal. But I mean that's the Superman and Harley are great, and like you said, not to downplay the Wonder Woman. I'm also just not a big like Wonder Woman fan, so that also kind of plays into like I don't pull towards the character as much as I pull to these other two. So. But they all look great. I mean, and again, it's fun too because now that he's officially done DC covers, now it's like, okay, well, now this feels more official seeing DC remarks because it's like, hey, he is doing DC now. So we haven't seen a Harley cover, but we probably, hopefully, will eventually. So,
and there's one member of the group that keeps asking him to do a Lobo cover. So I wouldn't be surprised on the next CGC op if we don't see a Lobo send in a request for that.
That'd be pretty great. Yeah. I could see Skottie doing great with that one. So.
Oh yeah, he's did some daily sketches of Lobo, and
he always true. Yeah, he has. Yeah.
So he does a great job with
one though, right? It was just all more so like his older kind of non-baby style. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and I'm gonna go on a limb and say yes. I believe he has not did a baby one of that one, but I may be wrong about that, but not that I can recall. But no, you had a great idea, Tyler, about setting up a video and watching the full thing. Which I don't know. I wouldn't like a camera on me all the time, but yeah, that would be. I'm writing these ideas down. Great ideas. I'm glad you are, Seth. Yeah, because I'll forget all of them.
No, I mean,
I'll go back and watch this to remember.
Exactly. No, I mean, it's I'm one who I love the process. I have got a wall of art books here. Like I love, like you said, seeing the sketches and the breakdowns. Like the final piece is always really cool, but seeing how he comes up with his process and. Because it's not anything crazy. Everyone's they're drawing, they get the base forms, but again, everybody is different in the way they do it. Like you said, some people erase the lines, some people don't even need lines. But he always just looks like he's having so much fun, especially with inking. Again, the way Skottie inks, he's so confident in his brushstrokes. It's just crazy. He'll just like lay down this really clean sweep, and I'm like, man, if I did that, And again, I'm coming from more of a technical background. I'm like, I'd undo like 40 times before I get like the perfect arch, which, again, I it's this kind of stuff that does make you better when you're inking that stuff with pen and paper. It's permanent. You can't change it. So I would love to see, just a video time lapse of all of these. So.
Oh yeah. There was one artist and I watched quite a few live sketch shows. I can't remember the artist. And if I did, I wouldn't say, but I remember whenever that artist was drawing, they would write and then they would erase. They would draw a line and then they would erase. And the sketch was wonderful that came out from this artist's drawing, but there was a lot of second guessing and and I could, if I was ever an artist, I could see myself doing that same thing, wanting to get the perfect line, first down. But yeah, watching artists that can just kind of throw it down and make it form something unique. That's
it works so well with them, and that's that perfectionism, which I think most every single artist, myself included, unfortunately. Especially in the digital age, has to combat that, like, it needs to be perfect and stuff. And Skottie is, more messy and has fun with it, but it still comes out looking so clean. And, I think a lot of that is due to that fact, that he's not so caught up in, the making the mistakes and stuff. And, even if they do, again, they have like the whiteout pen. I've seen him do that where it's like, oh, we did that. All right, we'll white it out and then, just draw over or whatever. So no big deal.
Well, I think the next idea that we're going to present to Megan is a nanny cam in Skottie's office. And not to let him know, so we could see Skottie in his natural environment as he's in there sketching and preparing the art. And then
exactly, yeah. Oh goodness, I'm sure he'd love that. You know, he'd be like, oh, wonderful.
yeah,
I'm ready to keep track of whether or not I'm working.
and here comes the cease and desist letters.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and this is what I was referring to earlier, and this should have been the slide before, but let's act like you just said it. You know, has there ever been a sketch where Skottie did a jam for?
Oh, gotcha.
Exhibit A. Yeah. So see Batman and Batgirl over there, and the bubble being blown.
Was that one? Because I remember seeing that one. I was like, man, he did two. Was that in the same? Were both of those this signing, or was one a previous one? Or
I'm 99% sure that this was from two different signings, but I really couldn't tell, because the reason I say it's from two different signings is that there was two different signatures on it. So I was assuming.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Like in the lower one looks like more of a kind of more akin to his older signature, almost in a way. I feel like with the G.
The power of deduction, elementary, my dear Watson.
Yeah,
yeah, that's. But I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong. But that was just my guess from it. And Skottie, the Batmans that he's been drawing, I think over the past two times for CGC, kind of favor the ones on the left.
Yeah.
And the Batman he drew on the right there is kind of, to me, almost looks like a pre 2003 Batman. But once again, I could be wrong about that.
I was going to say, yeah, maybe the Batman was the previous one with the signature at the bottom, and then the Batgirl was the newest edition with the signature above it. So.
Yeah, and this one looks like there could be more art on it.
Yeah, on that left-hand side, yeah.
But maybe they zoomed in on this because these were the only two Skottie had did. But yeah, that was really cool. I saw that and I thought, I didn't even think about it them both being from the same one. But either way, to have two of them on there, you were dead on a few minutes ago when you were talking about filling up a blank with multiple characters. Yeah, that looks really good like that.
Yeah, no, I would love, and again, like, yeah, whether or not, I'm assuming that, would be something that he'd be fine with. Obviously he did it here if that's the case, but, just to resend it in, crack it open, get a new, remark each year, and just kind of add on to the pile of it, whether or not you do multiple characters or the same characters. And like I said, I know, the jams are mostly getting it from different artists and stuff, but I would love to just see one, from Skottie. Plus it'd be cool, just each year to kind of keep adding to it, almost like a tradition kind of a way.
Yeah, and I mean, what I had talked about with the Miles Morales I had with the spray can of doing like a graffiti wall of maybe Batman or something as a remark. I meant to that this time, and I completely forgot about it when I sent in my Batman and Wonder Woman requests. But yeah, I'd like to see it added there. And also right on Miles Morales' chest, there's a big Newton ring that has the bubble up. So if nothing else, to get it reholdered, but yeah, to add to fill up the space on that white blank cover, just to make it look more like a official sketch. But yeah, these are all really good. I don't know if that's my absolute Batman or not, but I love that. I forget what you refer to him as.
I know the wide boy. I love the wide boy Batman. I'm all for like this big, thick, Batman kind of thing that he's been doing with them. So. Yeah, and then again, the fact the Bat logo, is the axe or whatever. I mean, it's just, this absolute Batman is sounding pretty crazy. So,
yeah, and Skottie does. I mean, if you look at all four of these Batmans and Batgirl, or they're all different. I mean, they're obviously Batman. They're easy to tell what they are, but still, once again, I think Skottie was having a blast with these because he's really pouring a lot of love into each of these.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I definitely agree. Like you said, it's Batman, obviously, but it's each one is their own personality and makes them each unique. So
yeah, well, even the ones that say I'm Batman are cool, but the second from the left, the look on his teeth and the look that he's making, it's just something special on that one too. There's none of them I can say are better than the other ones. They're all got something unique about them that make them all stand out.
See that one that you brought up. See, that'd be the idea where it looks like he's almost posing for a photo. So I'd send it in again and have Joker taking a picture of him.
That's good. Yeah,
just a fun idea. Again, just it's almost like the roulette or the pass and draw kind of deals where it's like you get a prompt, you draw it, you pass it, you have to kind of keep doing it. So see what he comes up with. So
no, that's pretty good. Hopefully the person watches this and takes you up on that idea.
I know. I'll tell you, post it in the Facebook group.
Now this one, I was 95% sure. I throw a lot of percentages out there that I make up on the spot, but I was 95% sure that the one on the left was Seth's. And then I saw somebody else had sent an Invincible request in. So I don't know. It's a great it's a great sketch, but yeah, I don't know.
I love it. Yeah, I again, it's so funny because I'm like, I don't limit myself, but it's just like, oh yeah, like I could send an Invincible blank cover and have him do, or even resend in my Gert that Ryan did, maybe have him draw Invincible and Skottie style or something. There's not a lot of room on that one, but yeah, I mean that's a fun one. So.
Well, it's cool because the only other Invincible that I've seen Skottie draw before was like an older version, an older piece of Skottie art.
Yeah, that one and like you said, it's more in that old school. Almost, it's even closer to like his Human Torch days and stuff. Like it's
Slender Man type.
Yeah, exactly. Him flying. Yeah, so no, it's one where he hasn't done a lot of drawings on it. So that's the thinking. That's like the is it not?
I'm sure if this one isn't your Seth, which it probably is. Yours will be just as good, if not as well or better. I don't want to say any of them are better, but because they're all good.
You like it more, or preference, kind of a deal. So
that's right.
I would honestly, that would be a good idea. Again, I hate because there's not really a lot of space, but Skottie drawing Larry, like Seth suggested, would be a great addition on there. So
yeah, that one Ryan packed in quite a bit on that one. But that would, even if you didn't do that one, it would be fun to get a different, to start a jam piece on a sketch cover and do the different characters of Fairyland and have Skottie, fill in whichever one that you don't have another artist contribute. Because I think it'd be fun to get Brett on, to get Brett on there, to get some of the other, Skottie.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, maybe get Jorge on there. I mean, I know he hasn't drawn for Fairyland, but I'd love to see his take. I don't even know if he's done sketches, honestly. Thinking about his post, I don't think I've seen him draw Gert, but maybe I'm wrong. But I would love to if I haven't. So
I think he's referring to the Larry. Yeah, it would be, but maybe he's referring to the Invincible. Hey, you got a lot of bang for the buck with that Invincible. That one's great. But yeah, Brett, Jorge, Aaron Conley, you go down the list.
Yeah, Aaron Conley, yeah, true. Like the whole squad, just get him to do it.
The Skottie verse, you get the Skottie verse on there. The team, Nate to drop some letters on.
Whenever I get my tattoo, that's what I'm gonna call it. Is just the Skottie verse tattoo. So
yeah, and I hope I'm not forgetting any of the artists that's worked with Skottie. But yeah, there's been so many great ones. It's hard to for Tyler's. I mean, okay, yeah. Seth was referring to the little Larry would be a high price.
Oh, like if it's like tiny.
Yeah. That's why I thought. I didn't think he was talking about Invincible, but
like just a little tiny dot almost on there. So
yeah. Now, before we go on to the next slide, we'd be amiss if we didn't mention how awesome this Spawn.
I know, yeah. Especially with Todd, Todd's signature on there. That's really cool. And again, I love, like the details of the character like Spawn, the cape and everything makes him, really shine. So that's cool to see that stuff. And I just really love the way he did the, the face shapes. I don't know necessarily what you'd call that or referred to it as, excuse me. But yeah, it's a really cool sketch.
No, and I don't know if because of the fact that it had McFarlane's signature on there, if Skottie put a little extra mustard on this one, but to me, this was one of the most complete sketches that was done at the show that we saw, and I hopefully the person that gets this is really thrilled, and I can't wait. I mean, ones like this that pop up that I would never get a Spawn sketch for me. I'm not the world's biggest Spawn fan, but a fan that really loves Spawn to get Skottie to draw that, because there's only a handful of times that Skottie's drawn Spawn that we've been able to see. This would have to be a thrill. I mean, this would just be like the centerpiece of your collection to have McFarlane on there and have, Spawn by Skottie drew on there. So very impressive.
No, it's a great point. Again, that's honestly what I think is best about these opportunities is getting to draw the characters you don't see Skottie draw every day or maybe wouldn't choose to draw, as much per se. So it's the perfect opportunity to get something like this. And like you said, it's a little bit more special in my opinion, because there isn't a lot of it out there. So
no, not at all. And the ones that we saw, the 34 or so that we saw that we're looking through tonight, I'm sure we'll see more pop up in the group as they start coming back in. And unfortunately, we'll probably see quite a few pop up on eBay as they start coming in. But
there, yeah.
Just more for us to go after. All right. Yeah, these two have nothing to do with each other. I just ran out of themes to put together.
I mean, honestly, they're perfect. They're a perfect pair. So I mean, it fits really well. So
well, I'm glad you thought so, because I got these two, the last two I had left, and I thought, yeah, just put them on the same. I didn't want to do a slide by themselves, so these two went together. So yeah,
no, they work great. I mean, they're two dastardly, just kind of maniacal characters in their own right. Especially, the way he draws Maul here. Again, I love when he draws Maul, and this is I think only the second one we've seen so far from like the previous signings and stuff. And we looked at that one 2 weeks back. But Darth Maul is one of my favorite, as most people it is for Star Wars characters. I mean, it's just such a cool design and character, and the Gert too. I love the way normally, again, I like when he grounds them with their body and stuff, but I kind of like the Gert's almost just more like a floating head in a way, and like the curls don't all connect. Like I don't know. I just really like this Gert sketch. Again, I looked at that and I was like, man, I should have sent in that pink blank cover I had to get that Gert, and now I'm kicking myself. But I've now got the green blank to go with it, so I could do a Gert and Larry or a Gert, and somebody else on those covers. So maybe a Gert and Duncan. So
yeah, maybe a Gert and Dorothy whenever with this new.
I guess that's fair. Yeah, we've got the story stuff coming up. So
that'll be fun. I love that Darth Maul is not amused by anything. Like he's like, let's move on to the next slide. Yeah,
it's always just this like, it's like he's posing. It's like, all right, just get it over with. Like, just draw me. Like I don't want to have to be here anymore.
Yeah, I get a lot of looks like that from my wife. So we'll go on to the next slide. So, hey, we finally got to your slide, Tyler. Once again, I'm gonna throw a percentage out there. I'm 99.9% sure this one's yours. So,
oh yeah, I don't know. Maybe somebody else sent in a Haunted Mansion. I know when I think somebody did because when I brought up, they were like, yeah, Haunted Mansion would be a cool one to send in. Because I'm like, yeah, there's no Haunted Mansion remarks out there at all. So I'm like, and again, it's my favorite Disney ride, and I just love the way he drew. And those characters, Ezra, the one that I chose, and he did get it right. Again, I was somewhat worried. I wrote down the name, so I'm sure he's like, all right, I'll look up Ezra. But I mean, it's great. I love it. I love the little white tufts that he threw in there, and then the white little beady eye, and the way that again, I like that he didn't fill it in completely dark. Like it almost gets this weird spiraling, like you kind of get lost in the eyes, kind of a deal, and the little thumbs up. So no, it's such a great. I can't wait to get this one, and it's just such a fun remark. So.
Oh yeah, once again, Tyler, I didn't even pay that much attention. I was so focused on the eyes and the hair and the hat, but the little hitchhiking ghost, the thumbs up. Yeah, I can't believe I missed
you can see the one. I think that's Ezra's thumb in the background because he's in the middle in that cover. So that's his thumbs up, and then he's doing it again. So
well, the one on the right, I believe, is another one of Seth's because I don't know how many people send in a Spock request. That's a very unique one.
Yeah, that's also another great one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this one's Seth's as well. So yeah, well done, Seth. That's very cool. The eyebrows, everything.
Yeah, I love to see Star Trek. Love to see this, and I love it's like the side. Like again, I like that it's like the slight head turn, and his eyes are kind of what is it this time? What is it you need, or what am I having to deal with now? So
thumbs up. Exactly. It's you know what. I take back what I said a couple of weeks ago when I said I wouldn't want to send a Ramona Flowers in because Skottie wouldn't, he wouldn't have. I think he would kill it. Now seeing all these that are kind of not in his wheelhouse, so next year I might just do that just to get that one.
Yeah, it's it's a fun risk. Again, if anything, honestly, I think he probably has more fun with these characters. I could be wrong, but I think he would have more fun with these characters. He doesn't get to draw as much. Maybe depending on how he feels, maybe he wants to have something more familiar, so it's easier to knock out. But he did a great job with, like you said, with these that we don't really get to see as much or as often. So
absolutely. Speaking of two more characters you don't get to see very often, Zorro.
Yes.
I don't know that I've ever seen a Zorro Skottie sketch before, so I'm not sure who asked for this one.
I don't think so. No, yeah, I don't believe I have.
But once again, instantly recognizable as Zorro. I mean, that was really cool. And Orko, I think I know who sent this one in as well. And to get the hat, the eyes, the
Ears, like
and
again, a more complete like version, or like a more filled out body, if you will, for that one. And my friend, he and his girlfriend, they love that character. So yeah, I knew he would really like that one as soon as I saw it. So that's a fun one.
Very cool. We're getting close to the end, but these were the shirtless bear fighter. I was completely amazed by the creativity of someone asking for one of the gummy bears.
Yeah,
and Skottie did a great job. It looks like it just pops right out from the rest of them. And I was hoping this one wouldn't get us kicked off YouTube for the pixelated version. So, but the Michael Myers with the party hat, that was a unique.
Yeah.
You know what that came from? Is that a deep cut? Is that a reference that I'm kind of ignorant of? But
I mean, I'd be right there with you as ignorant, because I'm not a big horror movie person. So I would think that it's just a fun little gag, just Michael Myers, hey, he's just celebrating his birthday.
Yeah, it's
I love, again, he used that brush pen, so I just love the way that it turned out with this one. I'm curious what he did it on, though, because like looking at it here now, like I would assume it's a comic, of some sort, but I'm like, I don't know, because that background color, the orange, I believe that's orange. But I don't know. I don't know the horror comics. Maybe there was a blank orange variant for like some spooky Halloween comic or something. So
yeah, I was trying to think if Hallows Eve 1 had a blank cover. I was trying to think of an orange themed, but yeah, I'd plead ignorance on that. Maybe it's a Joker cut or one of the orange. The only other orange one that's popped in my head right now is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle orange one, and I doubt that it was done on that one, because that's a little bit of a pricier of a blank. But yeah, I'm not sure where that one, but that's cool. I like that, instantly recognizable once again. All right, now help me out a little bit on this one, Tyler. The one on the far right, which is hilarious and great, is that shirtless bear fighter?
I think it's another shirtless bear fighter, but this time it is the shirtless bear fighter himself.
Okay,
because the censored is what like sells it for me, that because he's naked, so it's like. And I love that, like, eyes up here, like, again, like, that's a fun, like, fully drawn, kind of character that sits on his own, the way it's kind of framed with the sign. So, no, that's a great one. So
the only reason, because that was my first, that's why I put it on the book with the shirtless bear fighter. But I was thinking, well, I don't think there's a blank for shirtless bear fighter. I may be wrong about that, so I'll apologize if I am. And for some reason, I saw it. I don't know if you know Skeff's comics. James Skeffington. He's a big Whatnot presence, and he also does a lot of hosting duties on Whatnot for comic sketch art. If you look at New York Comic Con this weekend, he'll be on there doing a lot of hosting with their artists. But he has a big beard, and I know Skeff's out there quite a bit. And I thought maybe he sent in a request asking for a remark of himself. That was the first thing I thought, and then I thought the censored thing. I was thinking, no, that
probably wouldn't be. There was, though, looking it up, there was a blank variant of the C cover for Shirtless Bear Fighter 2 #1. So I assume that's where this went on. So if it's Shirtless Bear Fighter, obviously it could be something else, but my money's on Shirtless Bear Fighter, especially with seeing the other one right next to it there. So.
Whoever had the forethought to send that in, I tip my hat and applaud. That was inspired. I love
that's a great one. Yeah,
it's really good. And I'm trying to think what's next. Oh, the last one that's sent in, and I didn't get to send the Valors in that I had, and they weren't added to CGC's registry at the time, or not registry, but their submission forms.
Yeah.
But the person at CGC had said just write it in and they would add it. So whoever got these signed and sent in. And the little notes they wrote to Skottie on there are really cool too. They were, referring to, they've been a big fan for several years.
Yeah,
so.
I like that. Again, this was my first CGC signing, so like I didn't know, I just kind of went with just the general. So like I typed in, they give you the notes field, and I typed in, hey, Skottie, if you could do Ezra and then like sign my name just so you know who it is, kind of a deal. But I love that idea, especially with the custom signing area that people wrote on the tape, like, hey, thank you and stuff like that. I mean, that's got to be like a nice little, thing to read if you do. So.
On the very first yellow paper that I did and sent in, I was writing with my Sharpie, and I looked and I got done writing, and I had black all over my hand, and it was just smeared all over
Oh
that.
no.
Yeah, so I had actually had to use a different one, and then I ran out of them. So when the Arthur Adams signing came up, I was taking white tape and white paper and taping over my mistake. But yeah, left-handers got to be really careful about that.
Yeah, I know Skottie runs that issue too with his left-handed. So I wrote a message to Megan.
Yeah.
I don't think she did. She would have been there, I guess, if they went up to Kansas. So.
Oh yeah, and I think she's went down there with him the last few times he's went to Sarasota. But he was, yeah, I'd say to make it as smooth as possible. But CGC's probably got this down to such a fine artwork now, just to be able to get the books in, get them signed, get them out. Because I was thinking of all the little notes, the little cards that you're talking about, taping to the back of it and putting what you've got and your name.
Yep.
For them to be able to get that organized as fast and have them ready for him and push them out as fast as they did, because I don't know how long this took, but you can imagine this probably took 2 or 3 days. I think down in Florida it was 2 days, 3 days.
Yeah, so. I mean, especially since they extended it as well, the timeline, so that people could submit more for both signings and remarks. So
yeah, so there. To kind of sum up my thoughts on the CGC signing, this was the 5th one. To me, it was the best one that I've seen, and if anybody complains about these at all, then obviously their expectations are way too high, because these all for what you're getting for the cost of grading, the signature, and then the sketch, remark, whatever you want to call it, added on. These are all well worth the price, in my opinion.
Yeah, honestly, it'd be my, I think they just need to change the word remark. I think maybe that gives, the wrong impression to people of what, and obviously, remark kind of differs from person to person, but I think if they just called them doodles, if they called them sketches, then people are like, oh, it's a doodle, it's a sketch. Like, I get that it's not, it's not a, a commission. I'm not, getting hours of, of time from the artist to be able to get exactly what I'm after and stuff. So I mean, these are meant to be just fun, quick remarks. They're meant to be just fun little sketches, and then, like you said, with the signature and then with the grading as well. So and like you said, I mean, this is the only option to get something like this from Skottie right now. He doesn't do sketches at cons anymore. His commission list is offline currently. So if you want to doodle, if you want to sketch, you want something from Skottie, then this is your bet. So
yeah, I agree, and I think the images that CGC is still using for the remarks are more of one of the quicker ones.
Yeah,
because I think if they use the one, say, let's just go back to the Spawn. If they use the Spawn
that's where my mind went. Yeah, then people are like, oh, this is what I'm going to get, kind of a deal. So
yeah, so I think what you get, like any of the ones we showed, are well within reason of what to expect from this. But if you happen to get one that has the Spawn that's more filled out, or the Orco that has more of the body, then just count yourself lucky and just be even more happier. But yeah, I think everybody should be pretty pleased with all these.
No, and thankfully, it seems like, again, all the comments I've seen have been good, and the only ones that are negative, quote, if you will, are people like, man, I'm jealous that I don't have one of these. I'm jealous.
Yeah, you're right.
So
you're absolutely right. All right. Real quick, we're already an hour in. And once again, we always try to do this within an hour, but we never make it.
Quick, yeah.
I just looked at the clock and saw it was 7:52 my time, and I was like, "Oh man,
I know you think you get through them quick. There's just talking about the sketches, but again, there's just again, looking at them, I don't mind taking a little extra time, but not too much. I did get today, I think, my volume 7 for I Hate Fairyland in the mail. I didn't get a chance, unfortunately, to go get it, but I wanted to go grab that and see the book plate. And then I've got, I think, some stuff waiting at my my comic store for me. And then I even had the guy who's there, because I have his number now, and he messaged me about his personal collection of Skotties, and he was like, hey, do you want any of these? And the only one I didn't have, it was like a small handful, and I didn't have the Ant-Man with the magnifying glass. And that's one that I've wanted to add. I was like those Ant-Man covers, so I was like, I'll take that Ant-Man, off you. And he was like, yep, totally. So I'm expecting that to be in the box as well, as subscription box. So
all right, next Wednesday, hopefully you'll have your what I'm about to show. I'm going to show my bread art that came in. So next Wednesday, hopefully you'll have your bread there.
Yeah, so I should hopefully have him be able to show it off. So
I'll blow up here.
Yeah.
There's one other thing. There's one other image that I've got that I've showed you already. The big piece, one of the arts.
Oh yes, yeah. I
Not,
definitely want
not
you
the
to show
one big one, the other big one. I've showed you two.
Which of the bigger? Yeah.
Which big one? Yeah. So, real quick, we'll look at this was the artwork that I picked up from Brett's.
That's so cool.
Page 20, and I'm going to try not to mess up my book, but yeah, this is the.
Oh, nice! I like that you had it ready there. That's awesome.
So I'll try to leave it out for next week for yours, and then the other Brett piece, and everybody's seen this one black and white, and everyone's seen this colored by the gentleman that colored Brett's piece, but I asked Brett.
That's so fun. I love that.
I picked it great, so yeah, I'll post this so you can see a better picture. Everybody can see a better picture of it, but. You know, Brett, whenever I contact him about this, he's kind of nervous to add color because he's Watterson. He was very highly of him, and he didn't want to mess this up. He wanted to get it right, but yeah, I think he nailed it. He did a great job.
No, I think it was gray and black and white, but yeah, it looks even better in color, and he did Calvin and Hobbes justice. I mean, again, I know that's also one of Skottie's favorite, series, so no, definitely cool to see.
Well, I wanted to add real quick, and I hate being on screen for this long by myself, but I wanted to add that Brett has opened up his commission list again because we saw I posted and shared that he's at New York Comic Con. So now it's open.
Okay, yes, I was wondering about that. Yeah, because he does that for conventions. So yeah, I mean, definitely, if anyone's a fan of I Hate Fairyland, his artwork, definitely get a commissioning because it's it's reasonably priced, very reasonably priced, and his art is just so cool. So.
Well, there's another friend of mine that was just asking. He was asking if I was going to be at LA Comic Con because he wanted to get a Gert from Brett, and I was like, he asked where I live, and I was like, I'm in Kentucky. I'm not heading out there, but I'd help you out if I could. And then not 2 or 3 days later, Brett posted that, and he also got his Gert in the mail today too. So he was really pleased.
Nice. The Gerts, that Brett posted were awesome, and I think it was Skottie was commenting on them or I think he's commenting on, but just saying man, it's so cool to see all the Gert, requests that you're getting. So,
and Chris Bacon was the guy that shared that. He also got a Gert. It was one that Brett hadn't posted. So, it was really well done as well. And Seth is on here, and I'm pretty sure that was Seth's. That if you go to Brett's Instagram and see the Leia as Gert.
Oh yes.
Leia, yeah, yes. Brett's using that as his color because Brett now is offering the black and white bust. I'm sorry, the color bust, the black and white full figure, or you can get a color full figure. He's got all three of those options. And the Gert Leia hybrid is the main screen image for the full figure.
Oh, that's super cool. That's awesome that he updated. That was a great one. That's such a great mashup. So.
Yeah, Seth, incredible mind when it comes to these type of requests. So yeah, so I love that one. I want to throw this one so I get my face off the screen, Tyler, for off. But yeah, this is one that was. If we did the regrets are forever. Yeah, I guess they're not. And I really want to do an image of Captain America saying, "So regrets aren't forever" on here, but
exactly, yeah.
But yeah, I picked up the Mr. and Mrs. X #1.
That's awesome.
So. I've only showed this to about 3 or 4 of my buddies. Hadn't posted to the group yet. I wanted to share it live, but
that's so cool. That's awesome.
This is a big one.
Congrats on that. Yeah, I know how much. Yeah, that one you were wanting. So,
well, I've got the comic sent off to the CGC for the signing, so it'll pair nicely with this when it comes back. So.
That'll be really cool. Yeah, to be able to put those next to each other. So.
All right, let me get off of the solo layout so we can. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, get back to our regularly scheduled program. All right, now we'll jump right into our new releases this week. If anybody's followed Skottie and Stupid Fresh Mess, you've seen these pop up as the new releases. But did you see the cover art for this, the Jupiter's Legacy, down at Heroes Con?
I did. Yeah, the actual OA for it. Yeah, I did see that. Because I like the whole TikTok joke he did, and I really liked that. I was really sad when they canceled that show. I hadn't read the comic before the show, but I watched the show, really enjoyed it. Read through all of Jupiter's Legacy, or Jupiter's, all of it, because there's a few different ones, and Yeah, I was super sad because I also really like Mark Miller's work, so I was sad that they canceled the show. But cool to see, Skottie do a cover. So
Well, I was watching a YouTube video this week, and it was someone from Heroes. Um, this is kind of an embarrassing, selfish thing, but I went to YouTube and typed in Skottie Young to see how far our videos were popping up, and yeah, they were nowhere to be found. Tyler, believe it or not, they were way down the algorithm. But anyway, I saw a video from Heroes Con where someone had bought 3 or 4 different pieces of Skottie, and they had his portfolios, and they were flipping through them. And of course, I was like, because I didn't get to see all the portfolio. I think I saw 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah,
and
same.
I saw the Jupiter's Legacy finale cover in there, and if I'm not mistaken, it was a landscape. The art was landscape on there, instead of being like a portrait, like most OA is. So,
maybe I didn't see that. I could have swore I thought I saw, but I thought it was vertical. So I guess maybe I didn't. I wasn't able to catch it.
I might be wrong about that because the videos was kind of fuzzy and it was going really fast. But I thought I saw it.
I could see, with how many characters are in there, maybe, it was easier to draw it horizontal. So it's, gets the maximum space usage. And then they just kind of, edit it and post, kind of a deal.
Well, I'll drive more traffic to that video so they can get some hits on there to everybody can watch it.
I'm looking it up because I'm like, I want it. Cause like you, I also didn't get to flip entirely. And, I hate that I wasn't able to, cause I would have loved to see, like we said, there was Bully Wars, there was Princess Carter Mars. I'm like, there was cool stuff in there that I was like, man, I wish I had a little bit more time with it. So,
well, there was, I think it's the Exterminators, the Marvel team that has Jubilee and I think Dazzler with it. And that cover, it's not where they're like in a big wheel, like a big monster truck on the cover. I saw that one in there and I thought that one sold already. That was a really cool one too. But yeah, they're just looking at them and seeing the ones we missed was fun. So, but that was the Jupiter's Legacy. That's a cool. I've got that one on pre-order along with these other 2. But
I was gonna say I would suspect I've got these in my box, or I would at least hope I do. So we'll have to see.
Yeah. I could see the Wolverine 2 being a very popular book this week, especially with those 2 characters.
Yeah,
and that's another one. The OA will be pretty highly sought after. I'd say that's a really cool. And let's not forget the Fist of Nanshu. That Skottie doesn't do a bad Moon Knight cover. So
no, for sure. And yeah, I love that one. The moon being in the background again, like we talked about, the lighting and stuff is just cool. And the chains, I always love chains. So chain weapons are always really cool.
Oh yeah. And this is a late edition, just because I wanted to remind everybody. This is technically a pre-order, technically release. These are releasing at New York Comic Con this weekend from Gentle Giant with an edition size of 500. But if you are a premium guild member for Gentle Giant online, the pre-orders are open. You can order them and they'll, I'm sure, ship them within 2 to 3 weeks. But that was effective as of today. And this is what me and Tyler were discussing before the show. This Friday, October 18th at 11 o'clock. I gotta get my glasses on.
Yeah, the 8 a.m. PST, 11 a.m. EST. So
yeah, 10 o'clock my time.
I was saying 11 mine. That's what I'm focusing on. So
when Tyler sent me a message earlier tonight and he said he wasn't coming on to 7:45, I freaked out for a second until I realized he's on Eastern time. So.
I forget. Yeah.
All right. So we're good.
Like, hold on, wait a minute.
I have a feeling if you're wanting one of these, I would say Friday morning at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, 8 Pacific, 9 Mountain, whatever region you're in, you'll want to get this one ordered. Because even though they bumped the edition size up for exclusives from 250/300 to 500, this one I bet it's gonna be a pretty hot one. It's.
I mean, it's coming out right around Halloween, and it's such a great cover and such a great statue of that cover. So.
Yep, it's and hopefully whenever we do a statue show coming soon, we'll both have these in hand. I hope we're both successful at getting these. So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. I got lucky with Silver Surfer, not so much Iron Man. So I'm hoping to redeem myself with this one. So.
Well, good luck. Good luck to
you. Yeah, I don't know if Seth's question. If they charge shipping in the public sale. I think they do, right? I don't think it's.
Yes.
I'm not sure though.
And they are ruthless with their shipping. Their shipping costs. They have had like free shipping on different things, and but for every statue I've ordered, it's even as small as these statues are, and they probably cost $10 or less to ship. they're usually like $20 for shipping for me. I don't know if it's where I'm in Kentucky, but yeah, it's they do charge shipping on them. So, but if you're a premium guild member, you can get their coupon. Now, I think you can use them on this, but you got to pay like, it used to be $50 or $100 for the premium guild, but you get like certain statues that go along with it that are predominantly Star Wars. So if you're a Star Wars fan and you want that kind of stuff anyway, it might be worth joining that membership club. That one off. All right, what we got next? Oh, the fourth in the line of what we're assuming is going to be 10 covers, but this is like the gift that keeps on giving. The vultures are
really
great. Yeah, I love this. And I made the comment on their page that, each one that comes out, it's like, that's my new favorite. But this one's going to be hard to top. I really like this cover.
Yeah, I made a comment. I did not see this being one of the 8 deaths, vultures being fed to vultures. And even my wife, when I showed her, she was like, do these follow stuff in the comics, or are these just fun covers? Like, I'm assuming they're just fun covers. I'm assuming Spider-Man isn't going to die by being fed to gigantic baby vultures. I could be wrong. But,
well, I kind of wonder. I tried to do the same thing and think of which villains that the first 3 covers, because I was like, 64 could be the Vulture, him like fighting the Vulture and him killing him.
True, yeah.
But the foot squashing, I was like, is that, as we said before, is that death by Bully Wars? The first.
Yeah. Now that you say that, now I feel dumb in a way for not realizing that it's like, well, yeah, Vulture, one of his main enemies. So now it's got my mind spinning for future ones. Will we see kind of more like maybe the spray can? Maybe that's kind of a Green Goblin, Hobgoblin. I don't know. It's and we got Doc Ock's arms on the Daily Bugle, but I'm also like, that's probably more so J. Jonah Jameson, just smacking him if he could. So
there's all kinds of possibilities for those, and the fact that, like you said, this wasn't even kind of like in the predictions I've seen of him getting fed to baby birds, So this is just opening up the possibility for all kinds of deaths coming up on these future covers. So, but yeah, and I didn't to make you feel. I didn't realize that whenever I first saw this image, it took me like a day later, and I was like, "Oh, vultures! Yeah, vultures!
Vulture, yeah." I was thinking, "Oh, vultures! That's really random." No, he fights a guy named Vulture, so.
Yeah, he's got so many different villains, though. He could.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, there could be. We could continue the animal trend, rhinos, and all sorts of things. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right, new pre-orders this week, and this is obviously from the Skottie shop. Draw a quick link in there. Or, once again, I could have sent you the link, and we could have did this more professional style. But no, you go to SkottieYoung.com, and this is in the CGC Signature Series section, I believe. But this is his latest What If Minnie Mouse Became Captain Marvel. And I really would love to collect all these. I haven't jumped on the bandwagon yet, but all these are so cool, and this is going to be such a great lineup to have all of them side by side.
Yeah, I've got I don't have them graded, but I've got the previous 2. So again, I hope this one is eventually in my box. Cause, yeah, they're just fun. I love the crossover stuff. So.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to think what comes in. Oh yeah, this was really cool.
Yes.
And, Skottie and Megan and John and all the team at Stupid Fresh Mess really stepped up. And once again, you may have to help me out. I was trying to write down the name of the donations. Oh, it's United Way of North Carolina and
World Central Kitchen. Yep.
Okay, thank you. I don't have my glasses on, so I had to squint a little bit. But, did you bid on any of these, Tyler? Even at the early stages?
No, I immediately followed them, but I knew that most of them would go out of the ones that I was interested in would go out of my price range. Mainly, I would have loved the Art of book with the Deadpool sketch. He's done a few of those in the Art of books, and thankfully that is one that I own because it now is difficult to find, unfortunately. Whether that's just due to printing or whatnot, but and then the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were the ones I was most interested in, and not surprising to see that 10 out of 10, or the 10, graded go for as high as it did, and then the sketch as well. So I would have loved to, but unfortunately I had to pass on these. So how about you? Did you bid on any of them or?
Day one, I bid on something because I thought I want them to get it like to a certain point where at least it's like if I won, it's like, all right, well, it's going to a good cause, but I didn't want them to go for anything less than what I thought they were worth. And I like bid, and then I came back when it came closer to the end, and like my price was way in the background, and everybody that bid on these bid really big. And I didn't realize that the stray dogs, Skottie won. I mean, I knew it was limited to 500 or so.
Yeah,
I didn't realize how hot of a comic that had become.
I mean, it's even when it was out. I mean, it's such a highly requested item. I remember everyone posting it, and I remember passing again. I'm not a big horror person. I like the idea of the comic of the horror stories from the dog's point of view, but and I like the blood, making the stray dogs, and it is fun. So I mean, this is one that people really love this comic, and again, I'm sure and thankfully it going to a donation and being for good cause helps people to be a bit more open and willing to spend more, because it's not only is this an item that's special, but it's special because it's helping other people. So
yeah, and I was watching because I knew that Skottie and his team, their Stupid Fresh Mess, had pledged up to $5,000.
yes,
so I think the day or two before it ended, I'd looked and it was like at $4,800. So I thought, yeah, they're going to blow past 5,000. So to me, it was fun to watch the countdown on all 5 auctions, because what did the Raphael end at?
The 1826 for that remark.
I think it said 1,600 whenever my eBay auction ended, and it said like calculating winner. And whenever it reloaded, it was at 1,800. I was like, all right, good. Somebody's put it through a high bid, and there was a lot of sniping trying to go on, but there was multiple sniping to raise the price up that high. So that was really cool. And I think the 10.0 was at 2,600 when it ended, and the sniping put it up to 3,000. So I was very pleased to see them go for as much as they did, knowing they were, like you said, they were going for a good cause, and just really cool. But I bid early. But no, I didn't get back in there at the end.
No, I mean that's smart, and I kind of wish I had done the same. Like you said, if maybe just the art book itself, to go for like, hey, I'll throw in, and not expecting necessarily to win, but be able to just help drive up the price and get these as much as possible, since these are going to such a good cause. So
yeah, and yeah, $12,000, that's huge, especially for all the people that are suffering quite a bit during this aftermath of Helene. So well done to the Skottie team, and Megan and John and Skottie and everybody over there that pitched in. Very cool, very, very well done. And just a side thought, if you're wanting the Stray Dogs original art, it is still available on eBay for $6,000. So
it is. I watched that just because I'm curious. I'm always curious to see how much the OA stuff goes for, if it just sits there, for a little while and stuff, which is, that one's surprising to me, because like you said, the cover is so highly sought after. So I'm surprised that nobody snatched up that artwork. So
yeah, I'm not sure. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'd have to look at my records, but I want to say it was somewhere. Whenever it went up on the Skottie site, because it was originally sold on the Skottie shop, and I thought it was like 5,000 on the Skottie shop. I'd have to look.
It was pretty high. I remember it being fairly high when he dropped it. So, and
it sold really quickly too, if memory serves correct. Like, it wasn't out there for very long. So
no, not at all. Yeah,
it's a very well loved cover, and hopefully it'll end up in someone's forever home soon, and they can display it. I think that's it. I think we've reached the last 2 slides. Heroes 25 potential fan meetup. Same thing we talk about every week. And last but not least, if you want to join us in the fun here and talk about all things Skottie and overrun the hour that we promise, you're more than welcome to set in. I've been in contact with 3 people who are future guests on here, hopefully, and will hopefully put up with me and Tyler, our shenanigans. So, well, I think we did it, Tyler. I think we got through this one. This one was a lot of fun to talk through, and we could probably talk about these remarks again next week and have just as much fun with them. But
I think that what we've got planned for next week will be really fun too. I'm really looking forward to it, and even the one after that we decided upon before even starting this one. So again, it's it's never necessarily difficult to find something fun Skottie related to talk about. At least, right now, maybe we'll eventually hit a wall, but I highly doubt it'll be anytime soon. So
no, we've got about 14 hours worth of talking now, and we're not slowing down yet. So
my goodness.
yeah, we're doing okay on that.
I think we're doing good. Exactly.
I'm afraid to even mention what we got next week because something will happen. There'll be some news drop or something that'll blow it in the water. So we'll just wait and see, and I'll post something within the next few days what it's going to be. But if not, Tyler, y'all have a good night. Tyler, you can sign us off.
Yep, you guys stay messy, and I guess we're kind of going with the Skottie's quote of when in doubt, joke it out. So just have fun. That's I think that'd be the main thing to say is just have fun with it. Have fun with Skottie. Have fun with life and anything else. So oh no, Ryan's joining literally right as we're ending here. So
yes. All right, you got another hour and a half in you, Tyler. We can do the show again.
I'm gonna need another drink. So
yeah, I'll tell you what. Just give us 5 minutes and then just replay it from the beginning and
exactly.
jump in and comment. I will answer comments after the show. So pumpkin hunting. Oh,
hey, that's a fun reason then, to miss it. So
can't knock you one bit for that. Yeah,
exactly.
it's the time of the season. So yeah, you do that and have fun with it, and hopefully you get to do some pumpkin carving now. So
yes,
that's what my kids were doing earlier today. So it made me nervous to see my youngest daughter with a knife carving, but she did a really well job, and she's more artistic than I am. So she ended up with the same amount of digits that she started with. So
okay, but that's the main thing. Yeah, the main concern. So I'm glad that everybody was still safe in the end. So
it's a big one. Will be plenty messy. All right, well, stay safe, Ryan. Thank y'all.
Yep.
Thank you for that wonderful sign off, Tyler, that you did. That were.
No, it's totally fine.
All right. You can do it one more time as I hit the end stream button.
Yep. Y'all stay messy and y'all take it easy, and we'll see y'all next week.